DoorDash doesn't really suck, and you're not really that. Make some money, baby. This is what I want to say. Before you even start your dash, before you make any type of money, before you log in to physically start your dash, you need to be mentally prepared. You need to know what your strategy is, and you need to know what your approach is going to be. This is going to be the real key to making more money. We're going to focus on the mental and the strategy and the approach before you even start to dash.
Riding through my city with that daddy bag.
Thank you, Bentley.
It's not that you're doing it wrong or even that DoorDash sucks. All we need to do is make a few changes and you could be making the money that you see other people making. What up? This is your boy Bentley Coop, DoorDash Diaries T3D, the one-stop shop for tips, tricks, and strategies to help you dominate with DoorDash. And in this video, I want to give you not only tips that you can use today, but that you can use every day to make more money. Let's go. The first thing that we want to do is we want to look up local events in your area. Local events like concerts, street festivals, or any other type of celebrations can definitely cause more orders and give you a situation where you can make more money. The local people who live in these areas are going to stay in the house to try to avoid not getting caught up in the melee, and dashers who normally dash in this area are going to avoid the area as well because of traffic and other concerns. This is, number one, going to create more orders for you in your area. And then number two, this could create a situation where you get more peak pay. Here in Charlotte, we have a couple of Instagram pages and even the news channel that post local events where a lot of people are going to go to. Plan to work these times and these areas, as this is going to increase the number of orders per hour that you can do and help you to make more money. What local events do you know in your area that could be a great opportunity for you to earn some more money? With this job, we have the freedom to make your own schedule, and in a lot of situations, the freedom to say when you're not going to work. And because of that, adverse weather is another key factor to helping you make more money. This is going to be another great opportunity where peak pay could be at a premium and fewer dashers are working because of the conditions. I'm really a hands-on type of person, all right? So you can see my clicker, first of all. Normally when I make my videos, my hands are like down here, right? And you can't see them, but they're like, I'm doing this the whole time. So now I'm having trouble because literally this is as far down as my hands will go, right? So you'll have to forgive me if I get a little animated. The weather is another major event. People really dodge the rain. The only place that you see people joyfully playing in the rain is in the movies. In real life, not just the rain, but really any type of adverse weather condition could cause people to stay in the house and order more. Checking the weather on your phone, your TV, or maybe even on your computer once a week and taking note of these adverse days is going to instantly allow you to make more money. What does spring look like where you live? Do you get a lot of rain, flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, or maybe even strong wind? As these could all be situations, again, where there are less dashers on the road and more money to make. Having fun, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just having fun. The next thing that we want to try to do to make more money is to dedicate more time to working on the weekend. Weekends are the busiest time for a lot of markets. This may be the only time of the week where some customers get to relax, and because of this, they want to order instead of having to go out. Or for other customers, this could just be a situation where they just got paid and they're planning to do something else, but before they do that, they want to try to eat. Weekends not only instantly increase the number of orders that you could potentially get per hour, but this is also the best time to get the highest tips. Because really the entire day is busy, you could actually work non-peak times and not have to compete with as many dashers, but still have a good number of orders per hour to allow you to make the money that you need. For my people that work on the weekends, help me out. What's the busiest day of the weekend? What do you normally make on a run from Friday to Sunday? Working major events is going to be the best way to get the most out of your time because the number of orders per hour are going to be at its highest, period. Use the information I just gave you to plan and search out events in your area to help you plan your dash over the next 2 weeks and watch your money increase.
Netflix killed Blockbuster. Uber killed taxi cabs. And now there's a new income app that's killing the traditional 9-to-5 grind. See, here's Ryan. He was a coil winder.
Who doesn't like extra money? What if you could get paid to do the number one thing that you already do, which is driving around? What up, this your boy Bentley Coop, DoorDash Diaries, T3D, the one-stop shop for tips, tricks, and strategies to help you dominate with DoorDash. And in this video, I'm going to sit down with a fellow Dasher, Corey, and talk to him about how he's a part of an affiliate program that pays him extra to do what he's already doing, which is driving around. And you can do this whether you work for DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub. So I'm going to sit down, ask him 6 quick questions about how he's making extra money while he's delivering food. Let's go.
Riding through my city with that daddy bag.
Thank you, Bentley.
You doing okay, my guy?
Good, my brother. I'm good, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I appreciate you taking the time, man, to do this video with me. So when you sent me the email, I was like, yo, this is a really good idea as far as using your car while you're already out making deliveries, while you're already out doing stuff. It just, man, it seemed like a no-brainer to almost like make more money. You feel me? Like passive income without actually having to do anything. You know
Right, exactly.
So when you sent me the email, I was like, yo, I'll definitely do the video for this. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, it'll be better if they hear from your point of view, right? Because if it comes from me, you know how it's going to come. If it comes from me, it's going to sound like a car salesman trying to sell somebody, a car, right?
Because everybody think you already work for them.
Exactly. Exactly. So I say, if I can get you on here to talk about your experience, then that'll definitely, give them some real insight. So start from the top, Corey. Tell them about yourself. How long you been door dashing?
Actually, I've only been door dashing for about a year, and actually with all the COVID stuff when it started.
Right.
And actually, I want to salute to you, my brother, because actually watching your videos is actually what made me want to do it.
I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. It's always good to hear people, when they give you sincere feedback like that, man. So I really appreciate it. What were you doing before the pandemic?
Huh?
What were you doing before the pandemic?
I'm actually retired. I'm a retired correction officer from New York.
Okay.
All right. And I'm out here. I moved out here to Florida. And on the side, I was working in Sam's Club just to make a little extra money. Actually, I left there, quit. And because of COVID, was doing DoorDash. And I actually still work at BJ's now. I started back working over there the past couple of months. So I actually DoorDash after I get off work.
Okay.
So I do my regular shift and then get off and DoorDash.
Okay. I like to hear that. How many deliveries do you have?
Actually, I think I don't even remember.
All right, that's cool. I like to ask all my dashers. But yeah, no, put me in a ballpark.
I don't think I'm at 100 yet.
Okay.
I know I got a few. I don't know how many though. I didn't even look at that.
You do any other platforms besides DoorDash?
No, actually, no. This is the only one I do.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, we'll jump right into it. So tell me about Carbitage. How did you find out about them?
An email. They sent me an email through DoorDash, and it's actually a collaboration with Carbitage and DoorDash.
Okay.
Together. Right. And what it is they was offering $565 for 3 months of doing the wrap on the car. It was a bonus of $100 from Carbitage for doing it, and $165 for each month. Okay. From DoorDash.
And tell me about the application process. Like, what did you what information did they require from you before you got started?
Well, actually, when they sent me the email, and I emailed back, and then they gave me a phone call.
Okay. And it was
then through the phone call, they asked about how many hours how many miles I usually drive.
Right.
And I told them actually from 25, 30 miles.
Okay.
And they said they usually like it from about 35 to 40 miles. What it is they want, with the contract, they want you to drive 1,000 miles a month.
Okay.
So, and actually, if it calculated 30 hours, it only comes up to 900 when you calculate if you drive 30 miles each day. But I actually drive more anyway. With DoorDash, you're gonna put those miles in.
Right. And I was gonna say, even as a part timer, that's a little difficult. Like you're saying, you're retired.
So we got a couple different things going on, working at BJ's and other things like that. But for like a full timer, that would be easily. I know I do 1,500, maybe 2,000 miles a month on my car. So yeah, that would definitely be easy. Okay, so you go through the application process. They ask you some basic questions on the phone about how many miles you drive, and then you take it from there. Is there something that you have to put in your car? Is there something that they use to actually monitor the miles?
You download their app after they accept you.
Okay.
After I spoke to her on the phone, she said, "We'll get back. They'll send you an email. Let me know to tell me if I was accepted." And they sent me the email, said I was accepted, and set the appointment. You get the wrap on the car first before you download the app. You download that afterwards, and that's just to track your miles.
Okay. And you said, so talk to me about the process of actually getting your vehicle wrapped. Like, did you have to find somebody? Did they point you in the right direction? And then how long?
They set me up actually with J&H Design wrapsanddecals.com. They contacted me with an email telling me this is where you're gonna do your appointment at.
Okay. All right.
And it was that simple.
How long did it take to get the car done?
They set me up. I think it was about a week later. I got to put on the car May 26th.
And they did it in the same day though? Did it take them just a couple hours?
Same day they did it. It takes about 3 hours. I actually left my car with them.
Okay.
And went to work.
Okay.
And then my son came and picked it up from them.
Okay. You got a Kia? It's a Kia, right?
Yeah, I got a 2020 Kia Soul.
I'm telling you, I seen somebody post a picture of your car in one of the Facebook groups. Like somebody.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
that probably was me.
I'm telling you. And when I seen it, I said, "That's my man car right there." Because it's like, how many Kia Souls would you see wrapped?
A lot of them actually.
Okay.
I seen at least exact same car, same color, everything, right up the block from me.
Okay. All right. So maybe it is a couple.
I went and spoke to them, J&H Design. They said they've done at least 1,000 cars.
Oh wow! And okay, so tell me, you're in Florida. What part of Florida?
I'm in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
How big? What would you say the population is in your city?
Port St. Lucie? Well, I don't know.
What's the closest? Like, what are you close to? Orlando, Miami?
Orlando's maybe 2 hours. West Palm Beach is about 45 minutes. Orlando is about 2 hours. Okay. So I'm like in the middle of Orlando and Miami.
So not like a huge market, but like a pretty big market though.
Yeah, it's a nice sized market. And actually in this area they're doing so much building now, everything is booming over here.
Right. Because that was one of the questions that I had too was, would this be like a good opportunity for somebody in maybe a smaller or mid-sized market? And then when I started thinking about it, Port St. Lucie, that's what I was thinking. I'm not sure about the population or what areas it was close to, but yeah, that's definitely a good idea too. All right, so let's get to the nitty gritty. So how long did it take for you to actually see some money? Like what's the pay schedule like?
Well, when I got the first time, I got $100. It took the first 2 weeks after I got it wrapped. They sent me $100 from the from Carvatize, the bonus.
Okay.
And then after the first month, I've only got paid once so far for the $165.
And they pay you just like once monthly? Is that how?
Yeah, it's in increments, once a month.
Okay, all right. How you feel about the program so far?
I'm fine with it. I'm fine. You'd be surprised all the attention people give you when they see it.
Right.
It's just an eye catcher.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna say that. I know people stop you at all kind of questions and comments and everything.
Yes, they do.
So after this program is done, do you know if they will you be able to get matched up with other advertisers after this is done?
Well, that's kind of the idea why I wanted to do it, because with Carvatize, I've gotten emails from other people about doing promotions on the car, but with Carvatize, they're one of the top ones from what I'm hearing. That one and Rapify, I think it's called.
Okay.
I think those are like one of the two top ones. And the idea was just to get in with them. And once they see, as an independent contractor working with them, you got an opportunity to do other advertisements with them. And that was the whole idea of doing it.
Right. 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 Definitely. Yeah, that was the one thing that I was that just kind of stuck out to me the most was the fact that you're riding around in your car, you can do this, and then being able to get matched up with other advertisers. When I saw the picture of your car, I started thinking about it, and I think I've seen a couple other cars that have been wrapped maybe in my city, like in the Charlotte area, not necessarily with DoorDash, but yeah, that really got me to thinking about it. And there again, like I said, I think it's an excellent opportunity, but I wanted people to hear about it from somebody that was actually doing it, like right now. So I definitely appreciate you taking your time with me. I like that shirt you got on, bro. That's a nice shirt right
Represent my
there.
brother. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay, and you got the already on the other seat. That's how we like our
I
orders.
Welcome back, subscribers. Jake here. One of the most frequent comments and questions I've been getting on my channel lately is in regards to the Crimean Bridge. Jake, why hasn't the Ukrainian military destroyed the Kerch Bridge yet? If you're not familiar with the Kerch Bridge, this is what it currently looks like. And right now, this bridge is very important to the Russian military war effort. This bridge currently connects mainland Russia on the eastern shore of the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov to Ukrainian Crimea, which in effect is under Russian military occupation. So this bridge, along with its rail line, is currently resupplying all of the Russian forces in Crimea, along with probably the Russian forces over here near Kherson. And this bridge took 4 years to build at a cost of 3.4 billion euros. And Vladimir Putin himself really cares about this bridge. If this bridge was destroyed, Vladimir Putin would be pretty infuriated. In May of 2018, he personally attended the inaugural opening of the bridge and drove the lead truck in a convoy over the bridge before it was open to the public. For fun, I want to show you about a minute of this clip of him driving this truck.
Называется протока. Коса Тузлинская. Здесь то есть под нами земля. Да, под нами сейчас земля.
Вот уже другое дело. Высоты, покоренные вами, сквозь шторм, сквозь ил, сквозь ветер и волны. Все это сделали вы. Вы справились и на полгода опередили запланированные.
So generally, infrastructure projects are pretty popular with the local people. It helps the approval ratings for elected officials to pass and promote them. Unfortunately for Russia, Russia is not a democracy, and Vladimir Putin is a fascist dictator. So he didn't build this bridge to spur local economic activity or improve the lives of local Russian people. He built this bridge because he knew that he was going to be invading Ukraine in the future. He knew that he was going to have to resupply his forces through Crimea in order to take Kherson, in order to take Odessa, in order to take Moldova. Russia has been planning this for 8 years, and Vladimir Putin knew that he needed this bridge to be constructed. So the question now remains, because we're almost 6 months into this war, did Ukraine up to this point choose not to destroy this bridge? Is there a reason potentially? Or have they just been technically incapable? They don't have the weapon system capable of destroying the bridge up to this point. If you're watching this video in the future, potentially the bridge has already been destroyed. And before we talk about the technical capability to destroy the bridge, I want to first make the argument for devil's advocate's sake that potentially it's not a good idea to blow up the bridge, and I'm sure that this has been considered by the Ukrainians. And the first reason is this is a pretty nice bridge. Russia kind of did a good job. This bridge is actually the longest constructed bridge currently in Europe. It's an engineering marvel because this Kerch Strait is tectonically active, and ice can form in the Sea of Azov during the wintertime, which can be a hazard to the bridge. So Russia actually did a good job because the bridge functions perfectly fine, and I'm sure for the local people, both on the Russian side and the Crimean Ukrainian side, they probably would like to keep the bridge in order to promote economic activity. Additionally, if the bridge is destroyed at some point in the future, whether it's 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, the bridge eventually will have to be rebuilt. The other reason why potentially it was a good idea in the initial days of the war not to destroy the bridge is because there is a serious still possibility that Vladimir Putin could die in office, he could be assassinated, there could be a palace coup, and a new Russian government could come to power that potentially would want a civil way to end this war with Ukraine. This is Petro Poroshenko, the former president of Ukraine, and he made this statement before the February invasion, but this is what he said. The illegal construction of the Kerch Strait Bridge is another indication of the neglect of international law by the Kremlin, but invaders will necessarily need the bridge when they urgently leave the Ukrainian Crimea. So, yes, if militarily they wanted to demilitarize the Crimean Peninsula, the use of this bridge would help get all that Russian armor and equipment out of the peninsula. The final reason why potentially you might want to not blow up this bridge is because Russia hasn't officially declared war yet. To Russia, this is still a special limited military operation. 6 months in, I know it's getting harder and harder to deny it, but for Ukraine, since the start, this has been a full-blown war. It's been a patriotic war for their own defense and survival. But the Russian government has not mobilized 500,000 reservists, Russian reservists, to get them pushed to the front lines. The Russian economy and the Russian industrial base hasn't been nationalized for war yet, and this is still something that Russia could do. The fact that Russia has a military advantage to start this war, a larger industrial base, more economic and natural resources, and a population 3 times the size of Ukraine, the reason why Ukraine still has a really good chance of winning this war is because Russia hasn't declared it as a full war. I've made the explanation in previous videos. The reason why Russia can't declare war or mobilize for a serious war is because the Russian people in general don't support it. Yes, they've been fed Kremlin propaganda that Nazis have been killing ethnic Russians in the Donbass region, but to go full-blown war, ideally, Russia would need some justification. Now, if Ukraine blew up the Kerch Bridge, would this be Russia's Pearl Harbor moment where the nation could rally behind the flag, rally behind Vladimir Putin, and go all in on this war of aggression, this invasion, commit to basically taking the entire country? I don't know what Vladimir Putin or the Russian people's reaction would be if Ukraine starts bombing legitimate military targets such as this Kerch Bridge inside Russian territory. That is the concern. How potentially can this war escalate beyond where it currently is? All right, I've made the arguments now that potentially Ukraine hasn't want to destroy this bridge up until this point, but more than likely they haven't destroyed the bridge because they don't have the long-range weapons to target. And we know this because Ukrainian military leaders have said that this bridge is one of their top priorities. So this is a statement, this was back in June, from Major General Dmytro Marchenko. This is a Ukrainian general, and he says that they need to destroy this umbilical cord bridge linking Russia to Crimea, and they need to do it as soon as they have the long-range Western weapons to do so. Additionally, from the civilian government, we don't have a statement from Zelensky. However, we do have a statement from last April from the Secretary of National Security and Defense. This is Alexei Danilov. And he stated in April, if we had the opportunity to do it, destroy the bridge, we would have done it. If it is possible, we will definitely do it. So we have statements from the Ukrainian military. We have statements from the Ukrainian civilian government. They definitely do want to destroy this bridge. Additionally, there are NATO forces, NATO commanders, who have made public statements saying that this bridge is a legitimate military target. This is General Philippe Breedlove. He was a former NATO Supreme Commander, and he told the Times on Thursday that the bridge is a legitimate target, and the Kerch Strait Bridge is actually a pair of bridges, the rail line and then the road. So, the conflicting information potentially that we're getting is that President Biden, from the start of this war, has made it clear both to Ukraine and Russia that the United States wants to supply weapons to Ukraine to defend itself, but they don't want Ukraine using rockets or missiles that can strike into Russian territory. So, the question now becomes, is Crimea considered Russian territory? Obviously, to the Ukrainians, no, it's not, but to the Russians, yes, it is. But there have been statements from people within the Department of Defense saying that Russia's bridge is a legitimate military target for Western supplied missiles. And everyone this week has been talking about the HIMARS system. The Ukrainians have been supplied missiles that have a range of roughly 70 kilometers. In order to strike and destroy this bridge, more than likely they're going to need missiles with a 300-kilometer range, or potentially repurpose Harpoon missiles. These are anti-ship missiles that have been supplied to Ukraine from NATO countries, and then use those to target the bridge. The Kremlin has publicly stated that it is nothing but an announcement of terror if they do attack the Kerch Bridge. This is some pretty sweet irony given that Russia has destroyed dozens, if not hundreds, of bridges inside of Ukraine. So if they were to lose one of their own, seems only fitting. But the threat here, and the threat always has been these last 5 or 6 months, is that of escalation. What is Russia going to do if we keep supplying Ukraine with long-range precision GPS-guided missiles? And something that Russia could do is they could bomb Ukrainian military targets currently inside NATO territory. So right now, there are tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers going through intensive military training inside the United Kingdom. This is a hypothetical of where this war could go, but let's assume that Russia views this as a valid Ukrainian military target that just happens to be within the United Kingdom. If Russia bombed this training facility and killed only Ukrainian soldiers, but this is inside the UK, is that then going to trigger Article 5 of the NATO Charter? Is NATO then going to be part of this war? These are the hypothetical questions that everyone involved has to consider, once again, Russia's reaction. More than likely, though, I think Russia would choose to bomb Poland in response to the Kerch Bridge being destroyed. On Russian state propaganda TV, they threaten to bomb Poland all the time. But the Kremlin, up to this point, has not indicated that they are planning a direct attack on a NATO country. But because Poland is the one supplying all of these munitions and supplies across their border, Poland is the most likely target for Russia to attack potentially with a cruise missile in response to their bridge being destroyed that they consider Russian territory. So the Crimea Peninsula is this gray area, but in my opinion, it's unavoidable. If Ukraine can successfully push Russia back out of the southern part in the Donbass region, then the Ukrainian military is not going to stop. If the tide turns and things start going south for Russia, then Ukraine is not going to stop until they get all of the Crimea Peninsula back. They will start eventually bombing, artillery, strikes. Everything in the Crimea is going to go boom. And the civilians, more than likely, they are going to have to evacuate. And it'll be much easier for civilians or even the Russian military to evacuate if this bridge is still intact. Russia definitely is planning for this bridge to be attacked. They've employed and tested smoke screens to confuse radar and different guidance systems. They have air defense systems, once again, to try and intercept or take down a missile before it hits the bridge. And they're floating all of these radar jamming barges to confuse incoming enemy missiles, so potentially they won't be able to successfully strike the bridge. Will Ukraine, if they do get these 300-kilometer range HIMAR missiles, or they can figure out how to repurpose an anti-ship missile to destroy a bridge, will Ukraine actually follow through and go through with it? That's a bridge they're going to have to cross once they get there. To wrap up this video, I want to once again share a Ukrainian defender that I found on Twitter. There's no subtitles for the song he's singing, but according to this person, it's loosely translated as "Don't cry for me when I die in a battle." And I'm just gonna share about a minute of him singing his song for you. If you weren't able to hear his singing, then potentially YouTube told me that the music was copyrighted, and unfortunately I can't share it for you. But if you want to go check him out on TikTok, he's actually got 86,000 followers, which is pretty decent, and he likes to sing, and he's currently defending his country. I think he's stationed currently in Odessa. Once again, glory to the heroes, glory to Ukraine. Inevitably, Ukraine will win this battle, and I'm looking forward to that day, as I'm sure you are as well. That's all for this update video. If you have any comments...
Who doesn't like extra money? What if you could get paid to do the number one thing that you already do, which is driving around? What up, this your boy.
How would you like to report a 2-to-1 return on ad spend? Be like John. He's a digital marketer at a large furniture retailer. His company advertises with Google Ads to reach new customers across the Google network. That way, the people they're targeting can find the right furniture while searching, while watching YouTube.
But if, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh in.
speaking. Do you think Joe Manchin is a
and
problem?
it's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris.
So that's where the federal government must step in. That's why we have the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act. That's why we need to pass the ERA, because there are moments in history where states fail to preserve the civil rights of all people.
Okay, so she's either really mean or laughing hysterically. Anyway, apparently it's just too much for her staff to handle. 2 more people quit. Let's put them up on the screen. Number 1, let's see. This person, her domestic policy advisor, set to leave in August, worked with Kamala Harris for 6 years. Someone else is leaving, this woman, Megan Grube. She just got there 4 months ago. She has had enough. She's quitting, so let's put them on the roster of those who have left Kamala Harris's sinking ship. The vice president's office is fairly small. This has got to be like half of it or something. Very, very strange. Although, hate to say it, there's a very good chance she's going to be president maybe next year when Joe Biden resigns. That's my prediction. Not my hope, but my prediction. Jordan Peterson. Do you know this guy? Professor out of Canada. He is amazing. They tried to force him to speak a certain way, to use those preferred pronouns for transitioning or transgender people. You know, it's one thing to use it voluntarily, but the state in Canada was trying to force him to do it. He said no, and then we saw just how smart this guy is, and with so much to say. Take a look.
If we're bandying back and forth our differences in values, you know, I would say that the highest possible value is truth, and that one of the concomitants is that we need stringent protection for freedom of speech so that we can utter the truths that we see fit. And I think that that's a value that's much higher than kindness, for example.
Yeah, kindness is great, but if you want to be comfortable, you know, I'm uncomfortable with that. Somebody made me feel uncomfortable. Stay in bed. This guy is fantastic. Jordan Peterson, some amazing videos online you can find quite easily, or read his book, 12 Rules for Life. My favorite rule is rule number 4. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Only compare yourself to who you were yesterday. This is a really great tip. If you want to be better at something, like for me, a couple of years ago, I started running. I could only run 1 mile. It took me about 10 minutes. In 8 months, I was doing 3 7-minute miles. The first day, I only compared myself to myself, just a little bit better each day. Today, I'm up to an 11-minute mile, but I will be back. And this helps, by the way, because so many of us, we compare ourselves to the people we see on our phone or on television or, you know, playing football or whatever. Forget about all that nonsense. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. I love it. You got to work to improve, though, every single day. Hey, this doesn't happen every day. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said some stuff that I actually agree with. Now, she frames it in a way that is offensive somewhat, but she's talking about January 6th. And she may come to a conclusion that I don't totally agree with, but she raises some interesting points here. And I think she's on solid ground. Take a look.
Really just can't help but think about all of that footage and evidence that we saw the day of all these Capitol police officers helping and being sympathetic to the insurrectionists on January 6th. And everyone just decided it was too politically difficult to deal with. So they all just brushed it under the rug. And to this day, there has never been an investigation into that. Never. So as a result, we have no idea which officers are safe to be around. We have no idea if any of those officers and the ones holding massive weapons were with that crowd or if they weren't. But if you raise questions about that, or if you don't feel safe, it's construed as you attacking the entire institution of public safety. Riddle me that. Riddle me that. And we saw a lot of that show up not just in our politics now, but even the State of the Union. Because now both parties are in a contest of how much money they can shovel in this system without critically holding any of it accountable. It is dangerous.
Okay, there's a lot of truth there, actually. I don't call them insurrectionists, of course, and actually, I don't think that they were in cahoots with the people coming in, but they may have been ordered to let people in. Now, we saw that. The little cop, I call this person the little cop, aggressively waving people on to Capitol Hill. Who is this person? And they're not asking, and AOC is right. If you ask that question, you get attacked as not supporting law enforcement, which is ludicrous, by the way. The left and even some on the right come at me. How can you not support the cops? It's not about that. We believe in law and order, but we want to know who is that cop and why? Why did this happen? Also, the cops on either side of the hallway, look at them just standing there as these folks come in. Who told them to stand down? Was it somebody on Nancy Pelosi's staff? Was it Nancy Pelosi? I'd like to know. Wouldn't you? How can they leave this unanswered? And of course, the cops who walked off the job, essentially, at the moment of truth. All hell's about to break loose, and they decide to take a coffee break. There they go. Da-dup, 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 da-dup. Oh, we got to go over here. These guys start pounding away, and in about 10 seconds, Officer Byrd takes out his gun and shoots and kills Ashley Babbitt. We need the answers to these questions. And AOC is not wrong when she says it may be unsafe to be around these people. Like Michael Byrd with that gun. Has he been retrained? Has he been counseled? No, he hasn't. And they treat these security guards, and that's what they are essentially on Capitol Hill. Sorry, security guards, with this reverence that they don't deserve. That department needs to be disbanded. The whole operation should be taken over by the federal marshals, the U.S. Marshals. Okay. Now, moving on to these two characters, and they are characters. I think it's all about, look at us, shock value. That's Rachel Levine on the left and Sam Brinton on the right. Senior official with the Department of Energy, Sam Brinton, and the other one's from Health and Human Services, right? They're only there because they are transgender or transitioning or whatever it is. That's why they were picked, all right? Not for their expertise, not for their background. It was just for the optics, and they love showing off what they look like. They're really into it. Instagram and all that nonsense. Let's take a look at the people who had the job beforehand. They had the genuine expertise, but they didn't make spectacles out of themselves, and I think that's preferred. Admiral Brett Giroir, remember him during COVID? He was fantastic. And this guy, I don't remember. This is the one who has the job now. This individual, William J. Boyle. I'm.
This is a full 3 months of food without needing any refrigeration or special storage. And you're
sorry, I don't mean to be prejudiced, but I like him better. I think there's less drama with William J. Boyle. He's the guy I would hire. Fair enough. I think that's fair. Hey, coming up, Ivana Trump. Her death was ruled an accident. She fell down the stairs. Something very interesting about her, Donald Trump's other wife, and also Republicans in general when it comes to people from foreign places. Stay with us.
老婆过来了。
这是你老婆吗？
是啊。
这怎么是你老婆呢？
对啊，怎么了？
你看你那么年轻，你能有老婆吗？不，你今年超过12岁了吗？
我30。
你太年轻了，你哪有那么多人？你20岁的小，现在谈这个怎么要说？
是，问题是我几个月前我把脚扭伤了，他现在还差不多，我可以跑步啊，我可以走路的，但是他还稍微有点酸痛，能动的范围不太大。
他中文长得这么好啊？
不就是这个？你看吗？
不是这里不是，是稍微这个左边一点。
放在你这儿。
对。
这跟左边不右边没关系，就这是个你这个经络在这里。
啊。
看到了，看到了。啊。看到了。
这个很舒服。
要钱了吗？
不要钱的。
啊，不用钱了，这样好。
对，这样好。
没有理由不用钱的。来，很辛苦的，按表。
不要钱的，那你是怎么？
这是我说的吗？整个世界上说话的人多了，你要一听见有声音就是我说的话，我还能活吗？
没有对的。
今天直接叫你跑。看到了，看到了。Oh my god！ 现在是顺的，明白了吗？这被你老婆。
不过很舒服。
他有几个老婆？我不敢肯定。
不要！
如果是哪个老婆打的，我不好说。
别瞧他。你中文在哪里学的？ 北京。对。你这个按摩是在哪里学的？
这个可不是学的。
对。
这个
天生就有嘛。
这个都是有那个师傅在的。如果你没有各方面的这个经验的积累的话，你根本没法教。
你怎么？我刚才比你小，你那个轻的我都不会下。
我不是体育很厉害，他这个脚就比你厉害。
是这个是你按的吗？
是我按的。刚才那咯哒咯哒现在有吗？你明白了吗？
什么？
刚才在按你的时候，这里有咯哒咯哒的，我现在还有吗？没有了，看到吗？没有了。我告诉你，我今年我要准备回去了。回去了以后，我在上海永远是第一。
上海永远是第一。你在纽约也是第一啊！这个有谁做这样的吗？
这里没有比赛的，这里要有比赛的话，纽约不管在哪个舞台上，
都可以，
我都可以。
给中国人做跟给白人做有区别吗？没有区别。
人是一样的。跟犹太人做，跟那个亚洲人做也一样。现在还有吗？大概有吗？
他好像好了。
不是好像。
You can make contact with these civilizations and you do not need the government. Look at the evidence, it's happening. 走走看，大步走。
我们要走一走。
大步走，大步走，往前面走，不要跑，大步走。
哇哦！哎，他好像真的好一点了。
什么真的好一点？好就是好不大。完了，
哇，这个好棒哎！
要是不棒的话，我做按摩干嘛？
是啊。
我就说一句话啊，我在上海1年100万，我到纽约来就是要表演给整个世界看。
哎，你可以做肩膀吗？
可以啊。
可以现在做吗？
可以啊，几分钟的事情。看好了啊。
贴上。你看到了没有？看到了没有？就是这个。犹太人怕的，是吧？不能这么样。
来吧。
余下来的事情你做好了，余下来的事情你坚持做好，不能说是我打好了就好，回去你都要一点不上。
你轻一点啦，万一给它弄坏了怎么办呢？
轻了不等于白打。
也是
与其白打，我还不如不打，不打我还能搂一下。站起来，
站起来。
你看好了，手举起来，这么摇，啊对，摇20下，晚上摇一次，白天摇一次。他就天天这么摇，永远不会停。
那确实是要钱的吗？这多少钱？
美国不需要钱，你到美国来干？当然需要钱。
啊，多少？
不是我要多少，你给100万，你给我，还多少？能够面子上过得去就行了，你说对不对？中国人讲，这个是叫过得去，平常日子过了就过了。对，谢谢。
哎，那不用谢了呀，下次我也要过来了。You like him? You good? Yeah, that's a cool camera. What is that? 你知道吗？没有人在纽约这么按摩，没有这个，除了你以外。
除了要是有人的话，还有我吗？
对，没有，你是唯一的，真的。Holy shit! All right, 好，谢谢，拜拜。I'm a little bit traumatized right now, guys. I'll see you all next time for the next video. Hopefully, if there is a next video, I don't even know. Okay, bye bye.